The judge has his back facing to the wall because he's worried about possible attack in the same way that a king is worried about possible attack. Excuse me? You are excused, sir. You are... Hello? Hello? Hello?
Judges don't have to have the opinion that they support. Just so you know.
Hello? What I don't understand is okay, so right now I'm baking mastacholi, and the package says 25 minutes, but I just checked it with a fork, it's still frozen solid. So was it the package's opinion, or is it a fact that 35 minutes is enough time to cook the mastacholi?
Did it say from frozen, or did it not say from frozen?
They didn't specify. I think it's imported from China, so they're cutting back on costs by limiting the instructions.
So if you follow the directions...
All I'm trying to get at is to the root of the matter, which is, it's just your opinion that God doesn't exist. It's just your opinion. It's not a fact that God doesn't exist. It's just your opinion. Hello?
It's your opinion.
It's my opinion that it's your opinion.
Hello? I'm trying to talk.
Hello?
Hello?
Are you a fascist? Are you fascist or are you a socialist? Hello?
That's a false dichotomy.
No, it's a question. Which one are you?
That's not fascist.
You know that homeless jester, the video? That's from the homeless jester video. Oh, boy,
Hello?
Hello?
That's from that jester video. Have you seen it?
No.
I'll put it in the chat.
See, people are saying that you're a character, and what they're really saying is you have persona. And then we have to get into what is persona, and do you have an aura? And what's your aura made of? Can you answer any of these questions, Dr. Dye?
It comes down to particles. No, it doesn't. Everything that this person said was fucking imaginary. He made it up, which means I don't have to answer it.
No, there's a comment in the chat. They said you're a character.
It was all fucking imaginary.
Hello? Hello? See, this is what you say when somebody says something imaginary. You say hello? Because you know that it doesn't exist in the real world.
Wait, hello?
Hello? Is a fart a word or is it a smell? Is a fart just air passing over a turd?
Wait, hello?
Hello? So Elon Musk wrote that the vaccine dosage was obviously too high with too many spike proteins and done too many times. I had the original Wuhan virus before there was any vaccine, and it was very much like any other cold and flu, but not terrible. But my second vaccine shot almost sent me to the hospital. Almost. Felt like I was dying.
Yeah, I ended up in the hospital for 2 weeks with COVID. And while I was in there, they gave me some vaccines that were like updated.
Seems like you survived.
Now, I'll tell you the scariest thing, dude. This was crazy. So I get out of the hospital, right? And I masturbate, and it's fucking blood.
Well, maybe when they gave you the updated vaccines, they gave you a penis cancer, a turbo penis cancer in the penis.
It was crazy. It freaked me out.
Sure, because that's a thing that happened.
Well, we have Regal here. Regal put together a banger of a room the other day and declared himself the Holy of Holies himself, the final arbitrator of all Christian dogma. a great Greek Orthodox or Catholic. I don't know what you are or what you call yourself. See, to me, I find it very annoying if somebody would say, "What are you?" And I would say, "Oh, well, Monday I'm a Muslim, Tuesday I'm a Jew, Wednesday I'm a Catholic, Thursday I'm a Protestant, Friday I'm Quaker, Saturday I'm Muslim, and Sunday I'm Mormon."
Wait, he forgot being an atheist.
Regal's a bigot every day.
You're a bigot every day, Regal. You hear that? You bigot. He kicked me from the stage, by the way.
Yeah, you know what's weird is sometimes, some days.
What is God live on YouTube with Dr. Donald?
Days, I'm Quetzalcoatl.
He's extremely deranged. He's very annoying. He won't let you get a sentence off.
Oh, Donald.
Donald.
Yeah, that clown.
He's a super clown. He actually has figured out the formula for a TV show called Prove to Me God Exists. Because imagine watching people attempt over and over again to try to prove to the television audience that God exists. And it's actually very entertaining. But it's only entertaining because Donald is a super R word.
That'd be amazing.
And thus, it's like watching the most obnoxious, petulant child you've ever seen rudely talk to people as if he was God himself. It's very funny, actually. You see what I'm saying? The joke is Donald.
Thank you for coming on stage.
Welcome,
I'm trying
Yasmin.
to find my fucking cigarettes.
See, he's trying to find his cigarettes.
Oh wow, there's Kitty. I hadn't seen Kitty in a long time.
But the thing is, Regal, we have to have compassion for these R words. You know, they can be healthy.
Has the American people,
What the
like,
fuck
do
are
they,
my cigarettes?
did the American people want
What kind of
in Iran?
No, we're talking about Donald the R word right now, Yasmin. You know who Donald the R word is? Were you in that room just a second ago?
Which one?
Where you took a vaccine and you masturbated and blood came out?
Yeah, that was.
See, Yasmin, you wouldn't want to interrupt this R word conversation,
I
right?
guarantee you they're not related. I can guarantee you they're not.
You're done with Trump?
They are.
Demonstrate that.
Can you demonstrate it, Yasmin?
Well, my kidneys
Yeah,
were
I was
hurting
like,
when I went
is
into
that
the hospital.
possible?
They were sore.
Demonstrate that. Demonstrate
Petrol prices are going up.
Kidney.
What you think they always go down?
Well,
You know,
the blood
your sucking
came
is so
from the
big.
kidneys.
Sucking Israel's cock.
Okay, demonstrate that had anything to do with the fucking vaccine.
Well, I don't know. I'm assuming it was the vaccine.
Oh, Sharpshooters.
One of the two.
You're making a big assumption.
Of course, you can do that.
I don't have to accept it though.
Right. But the reality is nothing was wrong before I got COVID.
The fuck are my cigarettes?
Hello?
Yeah, I got so scared. Well, let me tell you this. This might be the evidence for you. So I got so scared, I called up the hospital. I spoke to the main nurse, and she told me that.
Not evidence.
Well, here's what she said. She said that it was because of the COVID, because it had affected my kidneys.
Still not evidence. What is it supposed to be evidence of, by the way? What is it supposed to be evidence of?
See, Rico, the guy can't even form complete sentences.
Bro,
He's full of R word.
cigarettes.
Me too.
Check your dresser. Yeah, I can't even see that room.
Check your bag.
Oh.
Check your back pocket.
And there's so many rooms, that's probably why you can't find it. He doesn't spell it God, he spells it G0D.
No, you're not.
He also has YouTubes in the title, so you can type in YouTubes.
Or you're not sitting
And the
down,
house
you're
name is
not
Convince Me G0D exists.
Check,
He's full R word. Full D word.
Cheeks.
me predict where your cigarettes are. That's evidence of God.
Hey. Oh, hey, I have cigarettes.
Found them.
The cigarette dilemma has been solved. I have cigarettes.
Joshua must have prayed for you, Donald.
I mean,
No.
can you demonstrate that your prayers found my cigarettes?
No, I didn't pray. I was thinking about where did you find them at?
Where I left them.
They're on the table.
What are you drinking, Donald?
Everclear.
Fuck, you're not. You're drinking
I am.
Why?
I only drink Everclear.
You don't mix it.
No. Why would I do that? That's silly. That's fucking silly.
Gosh, man, I'm hurting for you right now. What are you chasing him?
What does that mean?
Chasing it with? What else are you consuming other than the Everclear, around the Everclear, to harshen the Everclear?
Ice.
What kind of demon shit is that? Oh, this ice with my Everclear. Gosh,
Amazing.
I probably I swear, I haven't drank it 2 years. I'd probably throw up if I tried to do it over.
Well, I'm not you. Now am I? Because I paint my nails. You have never painted your nails, have you?
No, I would never do that. You know that.
I have. I have painted nails and I drink Everclear. Deal with that, motherfucker.
I let a girl paint my belly one time. Did that count? Probably don't.
No, I'd never do that. Well, yeah, we talked about this. I said if the government gave me $50,000 a month, I'd paint the hell out of my nails, and I'd make it fucking cool, and we'd all paint our nails. They're asking the wrong motherfuckers.
I don't require $50,000 a year.
Let's use a clear coat.
Yes, I do that.
I said $50,000 a month. What's his name? What's that queer? Jeffree Star. That Jeffree Star motherfucker probably makes millions of dollars a month.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, you've seen Jeffree Star. You probably don't know who he is, but I know you've seen.
You've seen Lenny Lizard from the UK?
But I do paint my
I don't
nails.
know.
Nails. That's people in general, for some reason.
I think it's amazing to paint your nails. Just so you know.
Yeah, why does the government need to pay people if he could just find people who's willing to say it for free?
Say what for free?
Demonstrate that.
Once you hit a tipping point of people like Donald willing to say, yeah, I kind of paint my nails sometimes. Oh,
No,
you better
I
you
think
better
it's
see
fucking
nail tech.
amazing. No, I think it's fucking amazing to paint your nails, you piece of shit.
Why have I got to be a piece of shit?
Because you think it's not amazing to paint your nails.
Oh,
It is amazing to paint your nails, you piece of shit.
My daughter can paint her nails when she gets old enough. I agree.
Well, so can your son, piece of shit.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
I do, you fucking piece of shit.
If my son came,
You're a fucking piece of shit. If your son started painting his nails, I'd fucking wonder what color he was using.
I would. You got my girl laughing, but I would probably try to take off the nail polish.
Why?
The nail polish.
Why?
Why? Because I don't know. What are we?
You don't know. You don't fucking know why you would do a thing. which makes it fucking irrational. You would irrationally remove a thing that makes a guy feel better. Why would you?
Feminizing. I don't know. It's kind of feminine for me.
But it makes him feel better.
I don't know. It hurts my stomach.
Why?
Hey, alligator, you said Mrs.
That's
Alligator?
fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid that because it hurts your stomach, you think your son shouldn't do it. That's fucking stupid.
Oh, yeah. It probably hurt my stomach. Yeah. So, you want to say hi to Elma?
You should definitely let your son do whatever he wants with his nails.
Yeah, I want to ask her if she knows that you're like completely psychopathic flat earther.
Oh, yeah. You know, if I'm the only flat earther in my whole house. See,
No fucking shit.
Have you ever wondered why?
No, I know. I know what's wrong with me. I don't have to tell you. You guys should know what's wrong with me at this
Oh my god! It's amazing that you know that it's wrong with you and not with others. That's amazing. The first, the beginning of what is it? The beginning of healing is accepting that you are wrong, right?
No. You guys know what's wrong with me. I don't have a tolerance for that bullshit like you guys do.
I don't have a tolerance for bullshit. I don't have that. You can't demonstrate that I do.
Right now?
Green
I don't know.
sparkles. Purple sparkles.
We'll bring up HLC as we're talking about nails. So,
It's
HLC,
green with purple sparkles.
would HLC ever paint his nails? Ever? Sam, would you paint your nails?
No.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Alligator,
That just means that you're not consistent. Me painting my nails is consistent.
I don't care if anybody paints their nails. It doesn't affect me at all. Alligator,
You're an amazing human.
can I talk to Mrs. Alligator? I want to ask her if she knows that you believe in lizard people.
Lizard people do not exist. No, that's a false.
Alligator thinks Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton are lizards.
That's still false.
The Amazing Spider-Man.
It's still false.
Batman.
She says she knows you, CM, and it's kind of an edge that she knows you and you don't know her. So just gonna leave it there.
What, she thinks I'm a lizard?
No. We've watched all your videos, Camellia.
Oh, Lord.
We've watched all of your videos.
You really showed her my videos?
No, of course not. It's a good joke.
We're gonna listen to music, right? We're just gonna
I like all the music. I like this. I don't know which one is he gonna do.
I only have one.
Muhammad.
I've seen 4 or 5.
No,
Muhammad's in it.
only have one.
Muhammad has a problem with identifying thoughts with like the electrical chemical signals like producing it.
I have to get my glasses.
Let's talk about it, Muhammad. Come on.
Oh, I mean, I can. Yeah. You know, that's the root of it.
I mean, we kind of talked a little bit in the comments. He doesn't understand. It's just down to semantics. Like, obviously, same thing with numbers. You can say
It's just false. What you're saying is a lie. You understand that, right?
What me?
Yeah, you're saying a lie.
What did I say?
A lie.
Again, I'm comfortable with calling thoughts the same thing as the chemicals
But
producing them.
that's a lie.
No, I heard people one time they're like, oh, I'm going to the A
I mean, I agree that thoughts are chemicals, but what you want to do is add stuff to that. I agree that thoughts are chemicals. I agree with that. But what you want to do is add things to that.
Oh, I'm talking. Muhammad's the one that disagrees.
Blockade their
Because it's
harbors.
not
Iraq
Lola?
or
You
Iran?
want to add things
I just
to the
interpreted it as Iran, but he did
Oh,
say
just-
Iran. Excuse me, he did say Iraq.
Very fucked up.
No,
Iraq, Iran,
Physical
Iran.
entities.
I'm not saying that.
They're wrong. Yeah, like,
I think Iran. I know it's pronounced Iran.
What you're doing is what's called
I had my share of Jimmy was and all sorts of interesting names.
I got a question. Did anybody foresee Donald Trump taking us to war with Iran prior to this election? Because I did not personally, but
Look at an
You did?
interview when he was a private citizen in New York, and he was hot to trot with going to war with Iran.
what I'm saying is, did you know that if he won, we were gonna go to war with Iran for sure? Did you know that?
yes.
Not for sure.
I don't think it was a given.
No, there was by maximum pressure.
With Trump's pettiness and his temper, we all knew it was inevitable.
Yeah, but he's being controlled by the Israelis, so you know that it wasn't up to him anyway.
Well, no, he's not being controlled by the Israelis. He's being
Fall into
controlled
that trap.
by Jewish money.
Is race shy?
What? No,
Never mind. Okay. Sounded like him for a second.
no, it's definitely not shy.
It's not Israelis necessarily. It's just Jewish money. Can we agree on that?
I think everybody's kind of collectively digesting their dinner, and they're wondering, why is your question so defaming or so stupid or so racist or so bigoted or so hateful and prejudiced? You know, do you have anything nice to say about the J words?
Well, I think the reason they're reacting like that is because I am a member of the J-word communities,
You're
and
J-word adjacent.
Wait, how many J word communities are there? Naftali, how many J word communities are there, to be sure? Because I don't know how many you're talking about here.
There's the Japanese. There's the youngest. That's a part of psychology.
Wait, which J-word community are we talking about?
I don't know, which one are you in?
A lot. There's
You said there were many. Which ones are you talking about?
You know, like the conservative and the reconstructionist and the reform and the humanists and
Don't forget the logical positivists.
Israeli.
Wait, you consider the logical positives part of the J word group, right? Logical positivist, you get it? Hello?
Yes, they are logical, and some of them are also positive.
Is there a difference between a logical positivist and a positivist logicalist?
Oh, I don't know. What do you think?
Ribono Shel Olam, I'm not so sure, but if we're sticking to the topic, Iran, that terrorist evil empire, that Islamic Republic.
Knock off the mod and then bounce and finish up his dinner with his family before he comes back to the room and like starts it up.
Bibi moved on to dessert. He'll be right back. I understand completely.
He wants to go have dinner.
He went to go have dessert, like me. Vanilla ice cream with walnuts and honey and cinnamon and raisins.
And then rice. That's how you pronounce it. Rice.
Rice.
Yeah, rice Ronnie, whatever. Rice Ronnie left.
Oh, I had to do something real quick.
Oh, here he's back on.
That's Richard, right?
Yeah, Richard. Well, I never heard him called Richard. I only heard
No,
What are
it's
you
just-
asking exactly, Alex? Because it kind of sounds like you're speaking in riddles to me.
It's Johnny.
Well, if you can tell me what the answer is to the riddle of the Sphinx.
I'm gonna blast you right now. Somebody told me that you're being investigated. I can't run from Congressman.
didn't run for Congress. I'm running for mayor now. We transitioned. I'm fully trans now.
Tuna's mad because
No, Hope said this.
I know, and they all got it from Tuna. This is also.
Okay.
So John called out Tuna because Tuna's son is trans, yet he hates trans people. And then I called him out because he hates Muslims, but he lives in Dubai.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm not being investigated.
He's the pretentious British guy who lived in New Zealand and now lives in Dubai.
I was being politically attacked by my enemies. As a politician, you develop many enemies on the path to liberation.
His son is actually trans, which is kind of fucking wild, but he hates trans people.
Well, it's always a projection, isn't it?
Oh yeah, he's definitely at least bi.
And again, when we say projection, we mean that when other people cast disparaging remarks against other people, that's actually them talking about themselves. Hello?
Probably about 90% of the time, 85%.
You love that Jasmine hello, don't you, John?
Hello? No, not Schmendrick. Remember Schmendrick from the app? Hello?
Oh, I remember Schmendrick.
That was actually my favorite sort of like language or line.
Yeah, I hope she's good. I miss her.
Schmendy. You know what's so funny? Up until she came on this, I always thought a Schmendrick was a guy. Like, but then I spoke to someone who spoke Yiddish like much better than I did, and it's genderless.
What does Schmendrick mean?
It's like
Is it a name?
it's like a quality. It's like an adjective. You Schmendrick. Like it's like Schlemiel Schlemazel.
The fuck is Schmeasel Schmuzzle?
Schlemiel is someone who spills something accidentally. Schlemazel is the one who gets it spilled on. Remember, Shirley Schlemiel, Schlemazel, Huff and Puffer Incorporated. Remember that?
Yakov, isn't that Gollum from Lord of the Rings?
Shit, it is. Kind of sounds like Gollum. Schmeagle Schwoggle.
Hold on. Schmendrick or Schmendrick is each term for a foolish, ineffectual, or contemptible person.
Okay.
A small-time fool or a pipsqueak. Although I wouldn't consider her a pipsqueak. It often describes someone who is inept, out of their depth, or a pathetic sad sack who attempts to do more than they're capable of, rather than a malicious person.
Gotta love Yiddish.
Yeah, Yiddish has some great put-downs, like, all of
they
your...
get very specific.
Yeah, I think I read one. Did you tell it the other day, or something like, may all the rooms in your house be infested with mice, or something like that? It's like really strange. Why would you adapt that as your, like, I guess she was
I
just...
know there's one that's like, may you kill yourself in peace or something. If you look up on Google, there's like a whole list of like...
Ribono Shalom. Don't you know Ribono Shalom?
Oh wait, is this that crazy guy that would come in and play those?
John, yeah.
Ribono Shalom. You gotta start off the compliment with crazy guy Ribono Shalom. How many times have you said Ribono Shalom
John,
tonight?
hit the call. John.
Ribono Shalom.
My grandmother was obsessed with. May all your teeth fall out except for one to give you a toothache. That's the Yiddish one. My grandmother was obsessed
They
with.
have such great...
Yeah, she was like, she always thought it was so creative, yeah.
Yeah, they're great.
Earlier today, I looked up some great Talmudic put-downs that are in the Talmud.
My grandmother, my booby, used to say, "Geh kachen lichtig in dein Augen," which means go take a crap, it'll open your eye.
My grandma didn't speak Yiddish. She only liked Yiddish curses. She thought they were funny.
This boy speaks Yiddish! Wrap him in the tefillin!
Alright, Yakov, there's 61 Yiddish insults that everybody needs to know. It's the article. The chat.
Excellent. Good to know. I'm going to say that.
So
There's
when...
some really
Let me see how many now.
What I don't understand is when you say that this conflict is biblical, and people get so upset, they say, that's why I don't believe in that fucking book. You know, don't they understand the power of mythology and the fun of a good story? Are they that angry?
It's a biblical.
Do they live their lives road raging all the time? Getting angry like it's a complaint department at the layaway line? Anger is the problem. Anger. If these Iranians in Tehran who have all the rockets and they're still alive and they're fighting, don't they just know that anger is their problem? That they don't have to be angry about anything. They can just let it go. The Ayatollah is dead. The Islamic Republic is crumbling. Why do they have to hang on to their anger? Just let it go. For the sake of the world and peace, let it go.
She funny, good ones, Jacob.
Yeah, I'm pretty much or something. I know millions of
Rabboni Shalom. So Naphtali, you never answered us. What J-word camp are you in that you claim there's so many subdivisions?
There are tons of different Zionist philosophies and Jewish streams.
How dare you, Kitty? Me as a mod who would allow you to crash out and do whatever you want.
What I want to know is, has anyone here ever been brave enough to take liver, chopped liver, or matzah ball and put it on a kichel and eat it as a dessert?
Alistair, this version of Judaism you do is a stereotype. I don't know if anyone's ever told you that.
You mean your booby never got you kichel on a Saturday with a nice cup of coffee with whole milk? Kichel. But then they got cheap on the kichel and they started making them smaller. You didn't get those long pieces anymore. I like the long kichel.
I don't know what kichel is.
Yasmin, hopefully you clip.
You don't know what kichel is? What the fuck do you think a cookie is? It's Yiddish for cookie. It's called kichel. It's a sugar cookie. It's an elongated cookie. It's delicious. You put it in your mouth.
With a long box.
It's not a donut. It's like a dried pastry cookie with sugar on top.
Think about that for a second.
Think about that?
Yeah, think about a donut and then make it long.
Think about that.
Are you thinking?
I'm thinking of a peach. A perfect peach.
Peaches and cream.
Does anybody know the story?
You're on Yasmin, Alistair.
Does anybody know the story of Daddy and Peaches?
No, but I know you're gonna tell us.
No, you should Google it and look up the story of Daddy and Peaches out of Manhattan. It was like this really rich real estate developer who married like a 15-year-old girl.
You should Google it. And then
It's called Daddy and Peaches. It's a love story. It's a love story. A story about heartache and heartbreak, money and love.
Snickers.
Grace can tell you all about the Jewish complaint department. We have fielded hundreds of complaints against the Jews, against Israel, against all kinds of stuff.
And they keep on coming.
The hits keep coming.
That's what she said.
I asked Norm,
How's
you
it
know.
going, John?
I asked Norm, what should we do? He said, keep hitting them hard. Hit them hard. Hit them harder.
And what is your position as Chicago mayor going to be?
Well, if you go to John Kitover on Instagram, you can see my first 5 days in office. The first day, I will cut property taxes by mayoral decree and proclamation by 25%. Day one.
There's no free lunch, so where are you gonna cut 25% of the budget from?
Yakov, did you hear that Mamdani's going to raise the tax on white people and add all kinds of extra shit, and he's also going to restrict white people?
That's completely against the 14th Amendment.
I know.
No, it's not. I think you can do that.
Oh,
You can't just discriminate against
Why not?
racism.
Equal protection clause? No, you
Well, what's the
cannot.
14th Amendment?
Has the equal protection clause.
Yeah.
Oh, what are the first 14?
Huh?
Can't do the rage baiting. I'm not dumb enough for this.
What?
No, you can't discriminate against people, just like you couldn't
I mean,
discriminate
it's so,
against blacks.
even if it wasn't in the,
Okay, I
Constitution,
don't
there's so many laws that say it's.
I guess they're gonna institute a curfew for white people as well.
Yeah, send out
What's
an account
even
for
better
like-
is the first free, quote, free supermarket, which is probably a bodega size, is going to take $35 million, half of a $70 million budget allocation for this, and it won't come online until 3 years of its 4-year mayoral cycle.
Who is this?
Mamdani,
Who's that?
And
the mayor of New York City.
Oh, the Sunni guy?
it's canned beans and canned green beans and just canned food. That's all it's gonna have.
Is he Sunni or Shia?
Most likely, given the ratio of Sunnis to Shia in the world. What?
He's Shia.
No, he's not.
He's a 12er, yeah, he's a Shia. His family is from India and they follow the 12th Imam.
Yeah, the Shia are the bad ones.
He's from Karbala, or they follow the Imam from Karbala.
He's from Kampala.
The Shia
His
are the ones
family
you
is
can't
lived
trust.
in Uganda or something, but he's
Yeah,
Indian. Yeah, he's Indian.
They have quite the compound there in Kampala.
Mm. What's up, Michael Bronson?
Every socialist should be married in a $5 billion compound.
Yo, Michael, what's going on?
Wow.
Wow. I was just thinking about how I replaced Elon in your life.
Elon?
Are you trying to from Michael up tower?
I did best bro.
Yeah,
Yeah, we-
used to be such good friends, don't they?
Yeah, now me and him are best bros.
You and Elon are friends? Or you and Michael are best bros?
Me and Michael, right, Michael?
Oh, okay. That's cute.
I've heard Michael say.
Wow.
Did you guys bond over your transitions?
Yeah, Pablo.
You know, at one point I did think that Michael was a trans man, to be honest.
I think it's crossed all our minds.
Why?
Because you're so beta that it's almost like female.
No,
Like you're so astonishingly beta and not, there's like no masculine characteristics to you whatsoever. You're just very
that's
feminine,
horrible.
coded.
That's a horrible thing to say. No,
Well, I mean,
it's because
it
you're
is.
so
It's very female coded.
If you were to ever fuck pussy, you would probably cry the whole time.
I actually do fuck pussy and I don't cry.
No, I'm sorry.
Would you like to see pictures from my transition?
Have you had the bottom surgery? Or if it's just the top?
No, the bottom surgery.
Was there even a requirement for a bottom surgery?
You want to see my pussy, Yasmin?
No.
Cool, I'll send you some pics.
I have you muted on my phone.
That's awesome. Does anybody else want to see my pussy?
Yeah, Rebby does.
Rebby's seen it.
Not touching that.
I'm good. I'm gonna pass.
No, send it. Send it to Rebby.
No, Rebby
Send her a
had this.
message.
No,
Send me your cake box.
Yeah, send her where you go.
No.
Rebby, is that a official term?
Rebby's taken first off, okay? And, yeah, no, it's
By who?
Yeah, you know something I don't.
I don't know.
Who's she taken by?
The Lord Jesus Christ.
What?
Kill yourself.
Oh my god.
Michael, are you also trans? I actually did think that as well, initially.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I suspected that he's bisexual for a very long time.
Did you
I've
smile?
found lots of people on this app.
Makes it easier to date if you're bisexual.
Did it make you smile to think about that or no?
Me?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, you definitely smiled.
No. Definitely not.
Definitely not.
Yeah, I've actually found a lot of people on this
See, I
app.
thought Neftali was gay. That's why I said if you were to suck a pussy. Like a golden ticket or something.
No, I'm
Rich was
not.
a golden ticket.
I'm not gay. I love
He's
women.
never fucked women.
No, that's.
Raised, would you
Yeah, but then there's one that's never been what's the term? If you were a C-section, you've never even been through a vagina. One's platinum and one's gold, which is.
One's a gold ticket, right, or something.
Raise, would you ever fuck a trans woman post-op?
Gross. No.
What if you?
Post-op.
You're
Not pre-op, post-op.
transphobic until you date a trans woman.
Yeah, that's not how that works.
Post-op.
Yes, that's what you
Like even already.
That was a talking point.
I like-
Trans
You know what it
I
makes me?
like a good old-fashioned woman.
Just a box in your mouth.
I like a snatch too. I like to.
There's
Don't
nothing
need to
that
make it
replaces
complicated.
Tragus.
I'd love to finger blast. I'd love finger blasting.
You know what's interesting?
Number one on our list.
I would like to teach you all a new English word today. It is tragus. Many.
Or they are attracted to their black woman aura.
So stupid.
Please help me, Jesus. If Jesus is real, shut him the hell up.
She said discredited. She's stupid.
No, she was talking about you at the university.
She living in a good room society.
I was talking about the university, and I said it the right way.
I would like to teach you all a new English word.
I don't like being top left.
He acting up.
All right, let's move it around. Look, there's something called DNA, brought to you by yours truly. You don't have to be gay.
What happened?
I would try. No, but someone was going off of something. When you changed it, that's what happened. No, someone had a new subject, and I went back to Melania. What was it? There was a lady. Go ahead. What was your topic, ma'am?
Oh yeah, Christino's husband. It came out that he has a dominatrix that be shaming him and saying shitty stuff about Christino and how she's better than his wife and stuff. And he also wants to be a transgender woman. He wants to transition into gender affirming surgery.
That's so democratic of them.
I put the video in the chat yesterday, Don. Let me reported it.
That's progressive.
She a big titty, big white girl.
She's getting roasted. She spent $200 million on advertising. She scammed America. She lost $200 million advertising nonsense.
What is that?
It's me. It's Point. It's Point.
Shut up, you stupid ass!
Shut up, dumbass. People think that I'm a black woman. I'm actually a gay white man.
That's not the real point.
It's the real point. Shut up, dummy.
No, I'm a big Koi fan.
You're a stupid dummy. I'm a fucking supermodel, bitch.
Never call me stupid because Koi was me. Yeah, you need to go away.
That's that motherfucker.
It's Point, you stupid dummy. I'm a supermodel. You're just jealous that I'm a supermodel.
That's that weird fucker on the phones.
I'm a supermodel, stupid.
Bro, this story is crazy. Y'all
Get into a new community, like the girl say, you know what, honey?
They kicked me.
Guys don't cook.
I'm sorry.
That nigga was so confident. Man, what? Take money.
Take money. My fault, take Lonnie.
Yes, yeah.
My fault. See, these niggas smoking weed. Imagine that. I don't smoke weed.
I was smoking either, man.
Nah, I'm fucking with you. But no, okay, so Taylani, so what part of like the IE you live in? I'm just curious.
I haven't lived in the IE in like years.
لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله. There is but one God named Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger.
Oh, sure. Yeah, the God's gonna send pedophiles. Sure.
Because your prophet put his penis inside of a 9-year-old. That's fucked up.
Revelation of it.
I didn't say he was my prophet. I said he was just the last. He's the final messenger.
Yeah, your messenger put his penis inside a 9-year-old. That's fucked up.
But isn't that God's fault?
Just a question.
Sure. Okay, it's God's fault also.
No, I mean, I think that's a lot of people say this, and I don't know why people who are Muslim get offended, but I thought the whole design of that argument is that if he's a final prophet of God, probably that's God's fault.
If the man existed, he had an original thought.
It's your fault for calling him your prophet.
No, you can't. Calling someone a prophet doesn't necessarily mean that they're.
It's growing. You gotta do something about it pretty soon. Can't keep adding to it. Gotta take away from it.
Some kind of understanding of the future.
All right.
And
So, can you demonstrate that God exists?
no.
No, you can't do that. Can you demonstrate that if God exists, these things would be false?
I think whether or not God exists, that's orthogonal to whether Muhammad would be his final prophet.
Okay,
Even though
that has nothing to do with what I asked you. Would you like to repeat what I asked you, or no?
you asked me if God exists, does any of this matter?
Does any of what matter, though?
Well, maybe I misunderstood. I thought we were going about how.
Yeah, does any what matter?
Aliens?
Pass? No, you're a fucking idiot. Okay, so there is a way of understanding humanity that requires zero actual fucking humanity. But what you understand has nothing to do with what actually exists. What you understand is fucking stupid. I want you to know what you understand is fucking stupid.
Can I disagree with your objective reality?
I doubt it. Objective reality can't be disagreed with, just so you know. I mean, if you want to say a thing, go ahead.
You can't disagree with them. It makes it objective.
See, that's the thing that doesn't make sense. You saying that it's objective. What the fuck does that mean?
Reality based on how you see it.
Okay. Objective means based on stance. Doesn't make sense. See? What you're saying is fucking stupid. What you're saying is fucking stupid.
What you feel.
Yeah, You're saying that opinion is based on not opinion. That's fucking stupid.
The objective reality is that you observe opinion of. My subjective reality is that I observe your opinion of and disagree with it.
So objective reality is a thing that exists, right? But your opinion, but excuse me, your opinion is something that doesn't actually exist.
No, that
What you have to do is demonstrate that your opinion comports with reality.
Oh, easy. I can demonstrate that easy.
Demonstrate that.
If my opinion doesn't exist, that means your opinion doesn't exist, which means your nail should have never been painted.
Well, that's just a false statement.
It's not a false statement.
So would you rather like say a true statement, or would you like to stick with the false statement?
I like to stick with the fact that one.
You're gonna stick with the false statement. You're gonna stick with the false statement. That's fucking stupid, by the way.
It's not false. Your nail's not painted.
Excuse, I have no idea what you said. What? You're lying, right? You're lying. Yeah. Just stop lying, right? The fuck? Fuck off. By the way, I want you to fuck off. By the way. Cannot fucking believe that I'm sitting here ignoring fucking existence, right? Just other things exist besides you, right?
Yeah,
Is it possible?
Yeah, but if you conceive it and believe it, you'll achieve it. So the belief
What the fuck does that mean? Okay, stop something. Stop. Fucking talking. Stop fucking. Okay. Is it the case that there are things that you believe in and there are things that you don't believe in? And either of those things could be true. Is that the case? That's what I'm asking.
Yes.
Alright, so you think that it's possible for you to believe in something that is not true?
I've done it before.
How have you ever believed in something that is not true?
Because I was given this religion about this Jesus and this Christ when I'm a child, and I didn't have any abilities to see beyond it. I didn't have the tools or the resources yet.
So all you're telling me is that you did not believe. You're not telling me anything about, like,
I used to believe it, but now that I know,
excuse me, I'm in the middle of a sentence. Stop talking. So you don't think that there is like a way of believing that, like, encompasses something other than? Do think that it's possible to believe something?
Sure, we believe in things all the time.
Alright. What is the difference between believing something and something being true?
You don't know that, you don't know, you don't have enough evidence, it's not knowledge, you can't substantiate it, lots of different ways you can believe something and not be true. But,
I mean, you can believe something, but what I'm asking about is the difference between belief and knowledge. So, is it possible for you to believe something that is not true?
yes.
The fuck you say? Okay.
When I'm hitting a jackpot,
can you please define knowledge?
Wisdom shaped by understanding.
I will not accept that definition.
There's 4 types of wisdom and there's 4 types of knowledge.
So, because you use the word knowledge in the definition of knowledge, so you're using the word you're defining in the definition of. You can't do that. That's fucking stupid, by the way. So, please define knowledge. So you're not going to do that?
I was wrong. There's only 3 types of wisdom. Godly wisdom, earthly wisdom,
Can you
demonic
do
wisdom.
me a favor? Can you do me a favor and define knowledge?
I can define the word A without using A.
Knowledge.
I didn't ask that. I asked him to define the word knowledge.
Wisdom shaped by understanding. I've heard some people say that knowledge is power.
Okay. Cite your source. Where did you get that definition?
That's from Alligator 7.
I seen that in a movie.
So, you just made it up.
Okay, you read the definition and you tell me that that's not wisdom shaped by understanding.
I want you to define knowledge.
Wisdom shaped by understanding.
I don't accept that as a definition. Doesn't make sense as a definition. So, can you define knowledge?
Knowledge is
Another way, please.
knowledge is the awareness, understanding, or information about facts, truth, principles, or skills acquired through experience, education, or study.
I don't accept that as a definition.
Yeah, I think mine was better.
No,
I think mine was more accurate.
That was ChatGPT, wasn't it?
That was Chat. No, that was Google. That was a Google definition.
I don't care. That's
what
not
other
a
definition would you show me?
I would like for you to tell me what the definition of knowledge is, please.
I put the Google definition of knowledge into the chat.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I did. I put the Google
You're
definition of
lying.
knowledge into the chat.
Okay. So as soon as your definition of knowledge appears in the chat, I'll respond to it. Until then, you're fucking lying.
It's subjective definition. They define knowledge.
No, he hasn't actually defined knowledge.
They are, it's just like
enemies in succession, and it's just almost like, oh, you guys are on our side, right? You guys are on our side, right? Otherwise, you're bad. So you're on our side, right? And then we have to become enemies with all of their enemies, and it's just like, look, the world is much. It's much too complicated to say that we have to their fucking enemies, and that it's going to be in the interest. It's not, at the detriment of our fucking country. And no, Israel does need to.
Pepe, we're asking specifically about a conflict with Turkey, which isn't going to happen.
Oh my God. Hold on a second.
I'll take care of him.
You'll take care of me? What did you say? Oh shit, it's the tag team. They're back together again.
I said that, give me the take.
That's fine. Daniel will fix you up real good. Daniel will tweak both of you perfectly. Daniel, have at him.
Okay, so if you look at one of the biggest complaints when it comes to Israel, at least from the United States perspective, only the United States perspective, is that, well, we were allies all the time. You were complaining you could be instead hustling. You could be instead chasing your dreams. You could be instead figure out the Cold War. They were the one holdout in that area that would align with you, not with the Soviet Union, but with us. And so that was invaluable. Really, truly was. It's like, holy shit, if they were aligned with the Soviet Union, that would have made everything very complicated in that region of the world.
The Soviets tried. The Soviets tried.
Oh, of course they did. And so that was where, like, our original allyship, I would say, largely was. After that,
Americans. It's more complicated than that. The American alliance with Israel really only started after 1973. Did America, provide some supplies to Israel prior to 1973? Yes. But it was really like the first real big, sort of formal alliance began after 1973. There was too much of the traditional sort of realpolitik saying these guys are never going to win. They're this tiny country and they're surrounded by hundreds of millions of people who hate them. And the odds were certainly not in the nation state's favor, except to say that the Arab states are pretty incompetent, and so.
But one of the biggest critiques, though, whether it was Nixon, obviously you put him on the right. Carter, one of the worst presidents, but he's on the left, obviously. We can talk about Clinton. We can talk about a lot of presidents since the Yom Kippur War in '73. There was a very realization that us backing the level of loyalty for us to show to them was absolutely hurting any possible relationship we could have with countries like Egypt and it.
So let's go there. So let's talk about, go back in time, to the previous war, which is 1967. Okay, the Egyptians went to war with Israel when 40% of Egyptians were on American food aid in 1967. And that was an American attempt to carry favor with the Egyptians. And that was during which the Soviets were not only training the Arabs, but basically giving them billions of dollars of free military equipment. They just kept resupplying them and resupplying them, right? And the the logic of all of that was there was this sort of natural anti-Americanism which existed in the Arab states post, breakup of the post 1945, right, which is the breakup of the empires, the disintegration of all of the European empires. The Arabs saw America as, a colonial power, even though it wasn't a colonial power, and that their culture trended towards more sort of tribal and dictatorial forms of government, which is exactly what the Soviets were, so they could cut deals with each other in the same ways that they wanted. And back then, I mean, there was still very much, and going back much farther than that, an American fantasy that you could have conversations with them and say, you guys should really have elections, and and Arabs resent being told that they should be told anything about how to run anything that they do, and socially and culturally speaking, they are very internally incapable of criticizing their own environments. So, that definitely meant that they couldn't see that, an alliance with America was what was in their interests. All the dictators in the Middle East, wanted to hang with the Soviets. The Soviets were going to give them a lot more free shit. So, I mean, that's what it was like for decades. And that was just one phase.
Yeah, but obviously the Soviets were playing them. They would only give them, they would make promises and give them free shit. But obviously, if they could take the power and control from them, they would stomp out any remnant of Islam. They were going to make you a very good citizen.
I mean, look at
how they worked.
All of the Soviet sort of the Soviet foreign policy was basically all about a game of divide and conquer and revolution, wherever they could foment revolution. And
exactly. I'm talking about post-revolution, that their rhetoric will shift drastically after the revolution.
But the Arab states were never really socialist, right? There was the dictators of degree, right? It's the Islamists, and have much more in common with Soviet ideology and communist ideology than the dictatorial, regimes did. And we've seen a lot of those regimes fall over time. And things did not improve, right, in those countries.
But can I ask you a question? So
sure.
So we can look at, these are all bad actors. I think you agree Saddam Hussein was bad. I think you agree that Muammar Gaddafi was bad. I think you agree that Assad was bad. Now, we end up deposing these rulers. Now they're basically, what are the countries now? They're still shitholes. They're still horrible places. They don't have a strong leader with the I guess you could say the type of national unity that you would have seen before, which obviously having that intact would be more of a threat to Israel. But I do not see what we're doing in the Middle East. I actually think we're causing far more problems.
Well, if we look at American interventions, right? Certainly Libya was not only an American intervention. I mean, it was an American and European intervention, and they bombed Libya for 7 months. I'm not sure exactly what they thought was going to happen, but that was, I think, very typically, really based on again a Western fantasy that that there's going to be some sort of that the future could be better than the past, right? Now, no one liked Gaddafi, right? Most other Arab states really didn't like Gaddafi either because he was crazy. And all of these guys were competing with each other, depending on the states. But, there was like a long-term historical bone to pick with Gaddafi in particular. The so-called Arab Spring, right, where there were all these revolutions, did not yield any positive results for any of the countries that had these Arab Springs. The Arab Spring, and what happened in Tunisia, what happened in Egypt, what happened in Syria really didn't have anything to do with the United States. What happened in Libya did not have anything to do with the United States. The United States and
it did have a lot to do with the United States. It had to do with, the UN did tell him that he had to restore basic human rights and civil rights, which is more of an American term, but basically the freedom to protest, all of that shit, which was downfall, because that's exactly what
I'm saying
did, and they killed him.
Yeah, what I'm saying is they saw it opportunistically as maybe there was some sort of win there. Had I been a fly on the wall in the room where these conversations were happening, I think I probably would have laughed in their face. But there's just a significant and common, very misunderstanding among Westerners about what Middle Eastern culture is like.
Well, no, I think one of the biggest misunderstandings is that we look at Middle Eastern cultures; they almost always need whether they have a king that's ruling them, a dictator like Saddam or Assad. They need those are actually the countries they prefer to live in.
I don't know that prefer. The alternative, what ends up being, there's always one tribe which ends up being the more powerful tribe, right? Like in Syria, the Alawites were the most powerful tribe because they imposed their power on everyone else.
And they were a minority, but they were a minority that protected the Christians and the what do you call those people? The Druze. And what happened after Assad was imposed and he ended up fleeing to Russia? Jolani, literally, a first-class piece of shit ISIS terrorist, which this is what rubbed me the wrong way about Israel is they were excited that this fucking ISIS asshole ended up coming into power, deposing Assad, and then what are some of the first things that his people started doing?
Don't you know the enemy of my enemy is my friend? The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
So there's a couple of things. First of all,
no, hold on. Let me finish my point. So they ended up deposing Assad. Then you have this guy with a bunch, tens of thousands of Turkic people from a different region of the fucking world that come in there. They get rid of Assad. Then they immediately start targeting the fucking Druze and the Christians. And I see Israel celebrating, because they got rid of Assad. But I'm looking at they barely have fucking Christians left there. And the Druze have been put through shit all throughout the Middle East.
Let me shed some light on that. So Assad became sort of a client state of Iran as a result of the Syrian civil war.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
So Hezbollah's,
but not technically the Alawite or Shia.
No,
there's the Alawites believe in reincarnation. They went on mission.
No, but they fall under Shia.
Most
Muslims are considered Muslim.
Correct. Yes, that's right. They when you look at Alawite sort of religious ornamentation, it's probably not the right word. It's like not considered Islam, right? So, I think it's not a question of celebration. I think first of all, the Israelis in that particular moment were observing in awe at the fact that the massive success of the Beeper operation in Lebanon basically made it so that Hezbollah could not respond to what was going on in Syria. And so through which was a very incredible operation, right? It had really wide-ranging impacts. The positive that they saw as they were the first thing they did is this was happening. So they bombed all of the military assets all over Syria so that Jelani could not get them. So it's not so much about them being in favor of Jelani as it is that the guys in Syria who were taking over were extremely anti-Hezbollah and anti-Iran, meant that it was a reduction of Iranian power, further reduction of Iranian power. The Israelis subsequently bombed Syria a whole bunch of times after Jelani went.
Yeah, after a couple of the atrocities they did bomb. I think there's one where I don't know, is there Ministry of Defense building?
Yeah, they bombed the Ministry of Defense building. But I'll say, I don't know if this is true, right? But I have heard it on a podcast from a guy who was former Al Qaeda, who turned and started working for the CIA, or he was British intelligence or something like that. And he was on Haviv Tigor's podcast, Ask Haviv Anything. They had this long discussion, and he said that Jelani actually works for the CIA. Now, I don't know if that's true. He said it on the podcast. And I can't, it's very, I have a friend, actually a former employer who's a Syrian guy, a really good guy. He's Christian, and we've had a conversation going back and forth about the things that have been happening in Syria because we're seeing, these crazy Islamists there, and they are absolutely interested in turning Syria into an Islamist state. How much power those guys have versus the current government is unknown, and whether or not it's at the behest of the current government is unknown. I should say, I may have a bit more information on that soon, but no one seems to have a clear idea of whether or not, it's a good thing or a bad thing. However, the general consensus I can tell you among my crowd of people is expect disappointment in the Middle East. And, the Alawite revenge killings were unsurprising. Right? They killed a bunch of Alawites when they took power. That's really unsurprising that that's everyone. There were a lot of people who hated the Alawites. The Alawites benefited from Assad's power, and Assad was a very brutal ruler, right? We heard all that stuff that happened at that prison. There are guys who've been locked up there for decades, right? And Assad also is the reason that ISIS became a thing, because when the Civil War started, they let out all the crazy Islamists out of the Syrian jails. So, so look, when you have a situation where you have nothing but bad decisions, you take the small wins where you can and you deal with the rest, right? And I know for a fact that there has been constant IDF activity in Syria. A lot of it we don't hear about. Since Jelani took power, so there are Israeli military units in Syria all the time. So I think so, and I should say, the Israelis have an absolute interest in protecting the Druze in Syria, because the Druze in Israel are extremely highly regarded, and they serve in the IDF at an even higher per capita rate.
Yeah, they're some of the most patriotic people in Israel, from what I've heard. Maybe that's wrong. It's
complicated. Like the way Druze society works. Like you're loyal to the state that you live in, right? right? So that means that there's a bunch of Druze who were in the IDF, and there were like a bunch of Druze who were loyal to Syria, not really involved in any significant level of the Syrian state, but I once I met this guy who was a Druze guy. Not all of the Druze were necessarily pro-Israel, right? And so there's this town called Masht al-Shams in northern Israel. I said, "Oh, I thought that." He said, "Oh, it's in Syria." I was like, "Masht al-Shams in Syria?" I was like, "No, that's Israel." He's like, "No, it's in Syria." And the reason why he was saying that is because they have this sort of loyalty to the state that they were a part of. In any case, they are very well regarded in Israel, and they are a very important part of the IDF. And so the Israelis have an absolute sort of ironclad requirement to protect the Druze there, because for one, they really care about the Druze, but also it would be a strategic disaster if Israel didn't do it, because the Druze in the IDF would leave the army, and that would really cause a big problem in terms of the operations of the army. But back over to you.
Yeah, I mean, it's complicated. I mean, all of this tribal bullshit when it comes to the Middle East, I don't have an answer for it. I don't know that I've ever heard anybody have an answer for it.
So, a couple of comments. First, kind of good good analysis of the situation. I appreciate that. I want to start with the last, and this is just my prediction, that Syria probably would become Afghanistan incarnate, probably 2 or 3 or 5 years down the road, given the leadership and what they have done so far. And so that's the big possibility for them. But I wanted to go back to actually, we kind of talk about this, the Arab Spring. What was the impetus and germane to this milestone movement in a region which is culturally, we don't expect such a movement to come about? And so what was the reason and second, why is it that it did not work? So on the first one, I would say in terms of the genesis, the reason for uprising, I think it seems to me, and maybe might be correct, is that kind of an appreciation of a secular representative democracy and the results of those types of governing bodies in Europe and US probably provided a template for the Arab Spring to say, look, this is not a bad thing. This is what we wish it to happen to us, to our government, to basic freedoms, and the rest of the stuff that it's common in the secular representative democracy, separation of church and state, basic rights, checks and system of checks and balances, and the rest of it. So I think that has probably, I'm not sure, I cannot tell you for sure, but I think that would have a lot to do with uprising, and there might be some other reason for it as well. So I guess we can talk about that a little bit, and then we can go back, well, how is it that uprising actually won't fail miserably, with the exception of 1 or 2 countries? And so that would be a good question to ask. I don't know enough why it didn't work out, so maybe we can talk about it, Daniel, or Pepe, you can educate me on that. But I need to.
Well, I'll tell you something really quick. So the first event related to the Arab Spring was this event in Tunisia, right, where this guy lit himself on fire to protest the government. What a lot of people don't know was that a female police officer accosted the man and humiliated him, and that's why he burned himself alive. And that was the impetus moment that actually, set this movement on fire, because there was this man being humiliated by a woman. So whatever there may be in terms of ideas about the fact that they may want a different government because their governments are shitty, and I'm sure, a lot of people feel that way. The motivations for doing so are, I don't know, are as simple as what we want as democracy. I mean, I see no evidence of that. They kind of had a democracy for like 15 minutes in Tunisia. It's now not really that anymore. In Egypt they elected Islamists. In Syria we got the Syrian civil war. I mean, in Libya's basically a failed state. Like, none of these things have really worked out. And it's really, to me, just comes down to the fact that you have clan warfare in all of these places, right? Which is just not really well understood. Is clans really do matter in the Middle East? I mean, they matter in Palestinian society as well. It's clan first, always. So, you think of like, oh, there's the Palestinian territories, but really the way people associate themselves first is to their clan. And there is inter-clan warfare all the time. This just doesn't make the news, right? They're constantly fighting each other, and there is violence all of the time. So, the only people who've been able to make it work in the clan system is the UAE. Each clan runs an emirate, and they came together and they formed the United Arab Emirates. That is a clan-based structure, right? Which is autocracy, but let's call it somewhat benign autocracy, right? They are interested in actually building a society that works. No one needs to believe that it's perfect, but we can see some of the results. None of the other ones have really gone down that road. I think it's also there are other cultural impediments which makes it very difficult. And I think one of the big differences with the UAE is they have a lot of money, right? And that generates stability. It's true with Saudi Arabia too. The money generates a ton of stability, right? These other countries don't have a lot of that, right? Yes, there's some oil in Libya, right? And there's oil in Algeria as well, and natural gas, and those things are good. But we don't really see a lot of improvements there. And right now, there is kind of a cold war in the Middle East between Egypt and Turkey vying for control and power in these states, which is happening in the background, which just doesn't get a lot of airplay, but it is happening. So, I mean, people are trying to make plays for power all over the place, all over the Middle East, backing one faction or another. It's happening in Yemen as well, right? Where the Saudis back one faction and the UAE backs another faction, and both those factions are against the Houthis. It's a fucking mess. And I don't see it really changing. The only thing that you can say is that in places like the UAE and in Saudi Arabia, there was a relatively sophisticated state, and all of those guys were educated in the West. And so maybe they don't want to live exactly like the West, but they know that life's pretty good in the West, right?
That they bring proud of.
And, they want to, copy the things that work. And I think it's clear at this point that most of the states in the Middle East, they don't want to be really under the umbrella of the Chinese. They want to be under the umbrella of the United States in terms of security. And they've sort of figured out that that's what they want to do. So they've thrown their lot in with the West. And let's say these are the more powerful, stable states in the Middle East. So the Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Bahrain, right, Oman, and apparently now Qatar. Although while the Qatar showers money into America, into American politics and all sorts of other things, and there's a giant military base there, they also finance all sorts of anti-American stuff all over the United States. And now all of a sudden, what happened to them is the same thing that happened to the Saudis, which is you fund all this stuff and eventually it comes back and bites you. Well, the Iranians have now bitten the Qataris. And we don't fully understand exactly all of the damage that has been done by what the Iranians have done to oil and gas facilities. But I have it on good authority that in Qatar in particular, there are contracts that are 5 years out that are going to be broken because the damage is so severe, which means, pretty bad shit, right, for those guys, because they're not going to be able to make any money. So I don't know, but they're now saying, "Oh, America, please protect us," or now we're against Iran. I mean, the Qataris were like really close with the Iranians, and this isn't very well known, but the ruling family in Qatar is Persian, not Arab.
Wait, the Qatari ruling family, they're Persian, and they're literally, they were Shia Muslims?
Persians, and they are Shia Muslim, yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
As long as it's intelligible.
So, do y'all think that Trump is wrong with what he's doing?
Nope.
Okay.
I want to plant an idea in everybody's minds, okay? I want you to think for a second that there's no way that the U.S. government didn't know, okay, that the Iranians were going to do what they did in the Strait of Hormuz, okay? And that they expected this and they have let it go on. And I think you should ask yourselves, why did they let it go on? Like, why didn't they, create a whole bunch of specific troop deployments specifically set up to prevent the Iranians from doing that ahead of time before the war even started?
Because we wanted it to happen.
Because they wanted it to happen. So what are the reasons for that?
Power over mainland China, power over the Gulf states, controlling the Strait of Hormuz eventually. Backing up the U.S. petrodollar.
My answer would be rather
appeasing Israel.
It would be they just don't want, first of all, like I'm so against the IRGC. They're pieces of fucking shit. If we can find a way to easily eliminate them, like I would say, yeah, absolutely, do it. I will never defend those fucking people. But this war, do I think it's as cut and dry and as easy as Trump may, and of course the people, the talking puppets that like to say like, oh yeah, we're just gonna go in, we're just gonna bomb them and kill Khomeini, and then there'd be a change. Obviously, that wasn't the case, and so here you have these same assholes in power. And the question of the day is, if we leave while still allowing the IRGC to have power, we lost.
Yep.
And so the problem, though, is that Americans, I think, they are so apathetic towards us doing a regime change in Iran. They would never buy into a mass military operation like what we saw in 2003 in Iraq. I don't know what are we going to actually do about it? Nothing really. And that's where I think
those are all interesting questions. Those are all interesting questions, but you didn't answer my question, which was, why? Okay, so my question is why would the United States watch the closure of the Strait of Hormuz? Right, because there are significant political costs because in the short term, right, the oil price has gone up significantly, and that is an issue among voters, right? That if costs go up by 30%, it's a big deal, right? Now Jashan, I think it was who spoke, said it provides leverage over China. I would say that
if we end up in World War III, the after effect will put us so far ahead of China that we won't have to fucking worry about them.
Right. Okay. So let's say. Let's put World War III aside, but let's just say
we're going to World War III.
Okay. Well, let's just leave that aside just for a moment. Okay. It absolutely creates a situation where there is a cost to China that they cannot control. That is true.
73% of their gas and oil.
Right.
55% for the Gulf states and 18% for Iran.
There are other reasons that I think we should point to. Okay, the United States has $39 trillion of debt, and it has a ton of oil and gas.
Yep.
And right now,
held by Japan.
Sure, fine, but now whether it's Japan or China or South Korea or any of these countries, all of the empty VLCC tankers are all headed to the United States to go pick up oil and gas.
I just want to say, I'm going to go to bed in a few minutes. I'm just going to go ahead. So.
Make me a mod.
Oh, hold on. Oh, goddamn. Did I move him? Jesus Christ. I meant to.
Oh, yeah, make Daniel a mod.
Yeah, I was going to make Daniel a mod. God damn it. I accidentally pushed you. Jesus.
Yeah,
I said my Lord's name in vain. I'm so
shut
angry.
up, you dirty mouth atheist.
Okay,
we got this account
and
so they got like 600.
I'll make Howard. I'll make Howard a mod. And then yep, amazing. I just I
Can you make me a
have
mod?
as mod.
Galaxy, shut the fuck up.
Make me a mod, my nigga.
Yeah, shut up. And so they can moderate. I'll listen while I'm sleeping, or about to go to sleep. But that's what I'm going to do. And I truly don't really give a shit what happens to this room, because I'm no longer taking part in it. So, but I'm going to be listening.
So Daniel, let me just answer the good question. So you're making the assumption that Americans knew in their calculus of what this war could entail. One of the risk of the Strait of Hormuz being closed and causing devastation in terms of the energy supply and the rest of the stuff. Maybe they actually thought about it, and it's not possible to think that they were not aware of the political risk in terms of the stuff that you mentioned, actually. The oil prices.
Yeah, but all you got to think about it the way they think about it. They don't think it is like, oh, we're gonna it's not some conspiratorial thing where they're like, oh, we're gonna intentionally do this. I think when they're sitting around, they look at it and they go, okay, well, what if it goes this way? Okay, well, we win. Well, what if it goes this way? Okay, well, we win. So it's just a win-win situation. We either get the Strait of Hormuz open and we overthrow RGC, destroy the Ayatollah, kill him and shit, and we implement a new regime in Iran, or they shut down the fucking strait and then we sell it at $140 a barrel.
Actually, we're going to
and cut China.
Yeah, we're going to actually talk about the scenario we just talked about, but maybe take it one at a time. One assumption is they fully calculated this ahead of time, and the calculation in terms of the Strait of Hormuz is going to be closed by the Iranians, and then what that would entail X and Y and Z. Prices going up, inflation going up, and also putting some pressure on our allies to participate in this, which they're not effectively not in a material way, but substantially. And for the midterm elections also coming up. So those are kind of risks that one assumes that can, maybe not, we're just making an assumption. The other is the one that Jack exactly what you mentioned is, as we all know, the U.S. is energy self-sufficient, although we do have many pockets of import import and exporting oil and LNG, natural gas in the form of LNG, liquefied natural gas. We, at the minimum, at least there are about 6 or 8 terminals in construction right now to export natural gas in the form of LNG to various places. So with this Strait of Hormuz being closed for some time, who knows for how long, then of course that provided boost to energy production in the United States and also exporting that. And also the price of oil, as somebody mentioned, going up to maybe 130, 140. And so these are possible scenarios, but one could not say for any level of certainty that that the Americans really, maybe they thought after they have caused devastating damage to all sectors of Iran, military and the rest of the and also assassination, killing all of the leaders, that perhaps the Iranians would not even last that long. So maybe they had the closure of the Strait of Hormuz on the risk list, but probably it was not on the top of it. I don't know for a fact. I don't know. But I think it is possible what could have been some minor major miscalculation actually. So we go from, I'm going to land with this, from the absolutely calculating the level of the risk at the highest and the benefits could have entailed from that with some political kind of impact, particularly in the midterm election. And then all the